Tom Sawyer, Chapter 9, Buried Treasure. This time, Tom really was a hero. Old people loved him. Young people wanted to be like him. There was even a story about him in the town's newspaper. Tom's days were wonderful, but his nights were horrible. Every night he dreamed that Joe was after him. Huck was also scared. Tom didn't tell anyone that Huck saw the murder, but Huck was still afraid his part of the story would leak out. The sheriff and the townspeople searched for Joe, but no one found him. He had vanished. The summer days drifted by, and the boys eventually forgot their fears. One day, Tom wanted to look for buried treasure. Huck was all for it. "Where is treasure hidden?" asked Huck. "On islands or in rotten chests under dead trees," replied Tom. "The best place to find treasure is under the floor of a haunted house." "Who hides it?" "Robbers," said Tom. "They hide it so they can get it later. Then they forget where they hid it, or they die before they come back. So it's there for the taking." "If it was me," said Huck, "I wouldn't hide it. I'd have a pie and soda every day. And I'd go to the circus. I'd spend it all and have a good time." "So would I," agreed Tom. Huck and Tom spent the next few nights digging under dead trees, but they had no luck. "We've got to try the haunted house on Cardiff Hill," said Tom. Neither boy liked the haunted house, but their dreams of treasure were stronger than their fears. The next night the boys walked the 3 miles to the haunted house. They brought a pick and shovel and found a dead tree in the yard. The boys started digging. After a while Huck asked, "Do robbers always bury treasure as deep as this?" "Nearly always," said Tom. "Sometimes they bury a dead man with the treasure, just to keep an eye on it for them." Now Huck was really nervous. The boys dug and dug. They chose one spot after another. They worked and sweated, but didn't find a thing. Suddenly, Tom dropped his shovel. "Let's go inside the house. I'm sure the treasure is buried there." "I hate haunted houses, Tom," said Huck. "Ghosts live there. They peek over your shoulder and grit their teeth. I couldn't stand it." "But Huck, ghosts always look like blue lights, and nobody's ever seen blue lights in this house. Besides, ghosts only come out at night. We'll come back during the day." "You know haunted houses are just as scary during the day," said Huck. "We'll try the haunted house if you say so, but I think we may be sorry." The next day, Tom and Huck walked back to the haunted house. "Looky here, Tom. Do you know what day it is?" Huck asked. Tom counted the days of the week on his fingers. It was Friday. Nobody ever messed with ghosts on a Friday. "Sorry, Huck," said Tom. "I didn't think about that. A person can't be too careful." "Oh, it just popped into my mind," Huck replied. "We can't go into the haunted house on a Friday. There are lucky days and unlucky days, and Friday is definitely unlucky." It was decided. The boys gave up treasure hunting for the day. Instead, they played Robin Hood until long after the sun had set. On Saturday, Tom and Huck pushed open the creaky door of the haunted house. Inside was a dirt floor with weeds growing everywhere. The fireplace was crumbling, and cobwebs hung from the ceiling like curtains. The boys climbed a rickety staircase to look upstairs. They peeked in a closet in the corner, but nothing was in it, and as they turned to go back downstairs, Tom heard a noise. "Shh," he said. "What is it?" asked Huck nervously. "Shh, there, hear it?" The boys lay on the floor and peered through a knothole. 2 men were entering the house. One man was dirty and mean-looking. He had a deep scar across his face. The other man had a bushy white beard and long white hair. Tom had seen him lurking around town. That job's not dangerous," the man with the beard was saying. The voice made the boys gasp and shake. The voice was Injun Joe's. Coming here during the day is dangerous. Wait for me up the river. I've got a job to do in town. Then we're off to Texas. Tom knew what Joe's job was, to get revenge. Let's bury our loot here, said Joe. 650 in silver is a lot to carry. Tom and Huck looked at each other. What luck! Here was their treasure. Joe took out his knife and started to dig a hole in the floor. Pretty soon his knife struck something hard. There's a box already buried here, he said. Give me a hand. Let's see what's inside. Joe reached into the box and pulled out a handful of coins. We're rich, said Joe's friend. Let's put it back in the ground for now. I saw a pick and shovel outside the house. Suddenly Joe got a funny look on his face. Where did those tools come from? He asked. I think someone's here, and I'm sure he's upstairs. The boys were sick with terror. Their nightmare was about to come true. Injun Joe was climbing the staircase. He had a knife in his hand. Soon he would find them, and then... Crash! The staircase broke under Joe's weight. He fell to the ground in a heap of rotten wood. Who cares if someone's been here, said the other man. I bet he left when he saw us. Let's hide our loot somewhere else. We'll take it to my den, agreed Joe, brushing himself off. We'll hide it in number 2, under the cross. The men left. Tom and Huck climbed to the ground and went home. That night, Tom lay awake thinking about the buried treasure. If only he could find Joe's den, he and Huck would be rich.